Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the light novel reading from the White Album 2 light novel series. So, we last left off with Setsuna, who took Haruki out for a day of karaoke, which is pretty much just listening to her sing for a bunch of hours straight. And they're here, and we left off, and Ogiso was getting a little bit more serious. So, let's hear what she has to say. But when it comes to singing, I don't want to take a hint. Just for singing, I don't want to give it up to anyone else. Ogiso. That's why yesterday happened. Even up on the school roof, when I heard a song I knew, my favorite song, there was no way I could keep myself from singing. White Album? Yep, it's a little old, sure, but I love it. It was the first CD I ever bought, actually. Really? That makes me happy for some reason. Ogiso gave a small smile at this knowledge of our shared tastes. I had so much fun doing that. I felt so great, so light. I hadn't felt that way in years. That's why it startled me so much when you showed up. Can you imagine, singing your heart out, closing your eyes, tuning out the world, and then bam, someone walks in on you? I could definitely see where that'd be a little bit embarrassing. Sorry. I didn't realize I was intruding on such a nice moment. No, I mean, there was that, but after a quiet, deep breath, Ogiso continued. Kitahara-kun, you already knew about me, right? For a few seconds, I didn't understand what she meant. Knew about? Well, yeah, I did. You're practically a celebrity. You won the Miss Houjou High contest for the past 2 years. Ogiso cut me off with a shake of her head, then pulled something out of her bag. This. You knew about this side of me, right? Oh. On the table, she laid out a truly unflattering orange apron bearing the words Gonda Grocery. This was Setsuna Ogiso's other secret. One that, as far as I could tell, only I knew. This is such a silly thing. And if you've seen my game playthroughs, you know that I complain about this as well. Why is it such a secret that Setsuna works at a grocery store? Why do they call the apron super unflattering? My favorite Setsuna in the whole series is the glasses and orange apron Setsuna, because she looks like she's being herself. She looks like she's happy. She's being true to who she really is. And I love that. And why is it such a secret? Yes, you're a school idol. So what? You can't have a part-time job? It just doesn't make sense to me. I think it was the first time I saw it was summer of last year. Takaya had dragged me out to a musical instrument store. On the way there, in the shopping district, there had been a girl about our age working in a small supermarket. At the time, I had probably just gone, oh, huh. This girl, with her hair in a braid and black-rimmed glasses, didn't seem to be anyone I knew. But this year, after I started to play the guitar myself, I visited that music store several times to buy strings and sheet music and so on. And in the course of that, something struck me. The girl from the supermarket always looked strangely plain. If she had just been plain, it would have been one thing. But something felt curiously off. It was unnatural how unmemorable she was, as though she were making a concerted effort not to attract any attention. I think that was why. What a weird thing to think about someone, wow, look at that girl. She looks extraordinary, come on. It's just odd. Because I had her in my mind that way, when I passed Ogiso in the hall at school one day, it hit me. The reason for that strange feeling became clear in a completely unthinkable way. I still remembered that moment because I reflexively yelled, "Ah!" in a voice that echoed through the hallway. It was that massive a shock. why is it so shocking? Like, literally, it's not even that crazy. Like, oh my God, the popular girl puts her hair in braids and wears glasses. That's crazy. You know, it's just, why? It doesn't even seem like high school drama. It just looks like a weird plot hole that they paved over. I know it's not, but like, why? Setsuna Ogiso, the school's biggest celebrity, the perfect flower of a girl. Who would picture her looking so frumpy, working part-time in a grocery store? And this is what they talk about when they talk about, like, oh, women have to keep up such standards. Seriously, a girl puts her hair in braids and works at a part-time job, and you call her frumpy? Like, magically all her beauty is suddenly gone because she put on a different outfit? It's so stupid. I remember it too, Kitahara-kun. The way you suddenly yelled in the hallway. Oh, sorry about that. I was definitely embarrassed. But Ogiso, how did you know that I had figured out your true identity? It was easy. I was paying attention to you the same way you were paying attention to me. Huh? I was working at a secret job, dressing as inconspicuously as possible, so no one would catch me. Whenever someone wearing one of our school uniforms passed by, I paid attention. There aren't a lot of places where students hang out around there, so I didn't see many, apart from you. I'm actually pretty alert to other people looking at me. I had no idea that she had realized. Don't worry, it's not like I stalked you or anything. All I knew was your face and that you were also a third year. I figured if I tried to learn more about you, you might sense something. But when you yelled out in the hallway, I thought I was done for because you were looking at me. You saw that far through me? That's my line. I had worried about it, but I didn't think it would actually get out. I thought I might have to quit my job. Ogiso sighed. No, seriously, why would she have to quit her job if someone recognized her? Like, oh no, my classmate found out I worked at the grocery store. I better hide my head in shame. It's just so weird. It's not like a sketchy job where, like, okay, if you're working at a maid cafe or something, yeah, that would be a secret. But it's just a grocery store. But nothing changed. No one came to see me or said anything to me. I just saw you passing by now and then like I had. It meant a lot to me that you didn't say anything about it. Io told me later that I didn't have anything to worry about with you. Oh, I mean, but that's how you knew about me, huh? Yep. So I was even more surprised when you showed up on the roof. And then to have you just invite me to sing for your band? Sorry about that. When I think about it now, that was pretty inconsiderate of me. Coming to try to scout you for the light music club, knowing you were already busy with your job. I know you have your own life stuff to deal with. Oh, well, it's nothing that big. Your family, though, I know you're kind of upper class. That's not really true. Ogiso looked a bit awkward. Who says that? Who's just like, oh, I know you're upper class? What? That's not even a compliment. That's just weird. Maybe, like, among friends is one thing, but you guys don't even know each other. We're not really wealthy or anything like that. We're just a normal family. Really? Yes, but after I won the Miss Houjou contest in our first year, this image of me as some sort of high-class young lady apparently just took root. At first, I sort of had fun with it, kept a smile on my face, but then everyone started actually believing it, and I couldn't back out of it. Oh. The next thing I knew, every time I hung out with my friends, I had to wear new clothes. That was actually why I started working, but that cut into my time for hanging out, and I stopped being able to spend time with anyone. As backwards as it is, that somehow made people think I was pampered and fancy. Wow. Such a weird, delicate situation. It really wasn't anything significant. Of course, Ogiso must have had her own way of thinking about it. That's all. I'm not like the image everyone has of me. Why would you tell me, though? It's so strange, especially the fact that everybody thought she was, like, rich. I mean, she must have heard the rumors, clearly. But why would you just assume that about somebody? That's so strange. Oh, yeah. I know it took me a little while to get around to it, but that was the big thing I wanted to talk about today. Now that I've got everything off my chest, I can tell you. Ogiso took a deep breath. Kitahara-kun, I'm sorry for running away from you yesterday. I'm really embarrassed about that. No, you really don't have to. I was actually really happy. It was the first time anyone had praised my singing voice like that, and so earnestly, too. Ogiso. This is also a bit hard to believe. Even if her friends got annoyed with her singing so much karaoke, so many songs in a row, she's bound to have had friends who've heard her voice for the first time and been like, wow, you're such a good singer. Super, super common in Japan to compliment people, even if you like don't really mean it, just to be nice to people. So I'm sure she's heard it before. Singing White Album felt really nice. I've always sung it by myself, but getting to create the music together with someone else showed me how much fun it could be. She fixed her eyes straight at me. That's why I wanted you to know me as I really was. I'm not some kind of princess. I'm someone who loves to sing. I had learned a lot about her family, her reason for working, her love for singing. Not the Miss Houjou High that everyone at school knew, but Setsuna Ogiso, the ordinary girl. Today, I had met her. So, here goes. If you're okay with it, if you think I'll be what you need, please let me join the light music club. What? What an incredible statement. Haruki, probably has a little bit of backlash from hearing all this stuff about Setsuna. And now double backlash because she's actually being nice and wants to join his dinky club. I do love singing. If it means that I can do what I love, if there's some role I can fulfill, I want to do it. These were the words I had been longing to hear since I first heard her voice the day before. I might not be that good at it. Even if I practice and practice all the way up to the show, it's possible that everyone will just laugh at me. But I'm going to put everything I have into it until the last moment. I won't back down, so let me sing, please. No, I should be the one saying, thank you. I did it. I was going to be able to put on a show with the owner of that voice. It happened so suddenly, almost weirdly so. But I didn't care whether it was some angel's slip-up or some devil's trap. Because in the course of a single night, when I was on the cusp of giving up, she had shown me that it wasn't all over yet. Oh, even from the very beginning, Setsuna's holding up Haruki, propping him up, helping him get through stuff. What a sweet, beautiful girl. Hey, Kitahara-kun? Just at that moment, one of the staff showed up with the oolong tea, set it down, and left. As of right now, Setsuna Ogiso doesn't have any secrets anymore. You know everything. She gave me a small smile, and I averted my eyes, having difficulty facing it straight on. I hoped desperately that my face wasn't red from the heating in the room. Well, if you do the show with us, everyone will know you like singing, at least. Oh, good point. Well, everything up to that is our secret. Why would you want to keep it a secret, though? Setsuna's whole thing is how she's had to keep up this facade. And now here's an excuse to kind of start breaking that facade down, you know? She has the opportunity. With a chuckle, Ogiso picked up the tablet sitting on the table. She input a code, the movements of her hands showing that she had it memorized. Yeah, so in the karaoke places in Japan, every song has its own numerical code. So having one song's code memorized, usually like 6 to 10 numbers, is pretty impressive. It's pretty silly, too. I'm going to sing it for you now, the song that led us to meet. After downing her oolong tea in one gulp, Ogiso grabbed the mic and stood up. The intro that I had heard countless times gently enfolded us. Ogiso's lips began to produce their song, a white, melting voice. And in the midst of that world, I pressed down the clear guitar strings and began to strum. White Album. The night was not yet over. That's such a beautiful, beautiful paragraph. When he's talking about pressing down the clear guitar strings, he's talking about pressing down guitar strings that aren't really there. He's like kind of mimicking the guitar alongside of her voice. And I think that's really beautiful. They've like truly become a duo at that point. Looking back on it, the whole day had been one surprise after another. Yes, I was worn out, but what I ultimately ended with was a pleasant exhaustion and a new name in my phone's address book, which, as far as girls went, had only contained Io before. I love Io so much, even though people describe her as not really being a girl. I was brimming with a sense of contentment, satisfaction, and with how extraordinarily lucky I had been. As a result, my mind didn't have room to roam anywhere else. It didn't even occur to me, for example, to wonder whether someone had spotted me and Ogiso walking around downtown together late at night. Kitahara-kun, sorry to call you so late. After I reached home, I received a call from the number I had just entered in my phone. Well, when my dad heard about the light music club, I never could have anticipated the darkness I heard in Ogiso's voice. Dun, dun, dun. So, this is very different than how it all played out in the game, because in the game, the dad doesn't find out until much later when they're having dinner in the house with Toma and Setsuna and Haruki. But here, he actually saw the two of them out together at this point. So, a very different start to this plot line, a different branch. The novels do follow the game's storyline, but it's interesting to see how they make things play out a little bit differently in order to fit it into these novels. So, moving on to White Album 2, Light Novel, Volume 1, Session 3. 23 days until the show. Haruki's Peace. Hey, Haruki, you were with Setsuna Ogiso last night, weren't you? The next morning, Takeya cornered me the moment I got to school. That look on your face. I knew it. I wasn't just seeing things. Hang on. Quiet down, will you? I panicked and pulled Takeya into the hall with me. Yeah, sorry, I got a little excited. So? Keeping one eye on our surroundings, Takeya fixed me with a hard stare. What the hell is that about? What were you and Miss Houjou High doing at that hour? No, listen. Damn it. We'd been spotted. And spotted, it's not even that bad to see them out and about with each other. That's one part of gossip, but they were seen together after hours in a weird area, not necessarily like a nice shopping district, but no, it was in an area with a lot of drinking and maybe gambling. Not a great place. Of course, they were there for karaoke, but nobody knows that. Wait, don't tell me. There's only one reason a guy and a girl would be walking around downtown at night. I shouldn't put you on the spot for something so obvious. Huh? No, you've got the wrong idea. How did you do it, though? How did a virgin like you pull Setsuna Ogiso? Since when did you start stealing my technique? Stop. I gotta say, I'm humbled. And yeah, I'm a little frustrated that you managed to get the jump on me. But it's that thing. The student surpasses the teacher or whatever. Maybe this is how a father feels, giving his daughter away to be a bride. I just told you you're wrong. We were just talking about her singing for the light music club. That's it. At that hour? In a place like that? Well, some other stuff was going on. I couldn't just blurt out Ogiso's secrets. That is so funny. Like, it does seem super suspicious. And for Haruki not to be able to convince him, because that excuse, like, oh, we just talked about the music club, is super thin. Listen though, Takeya, please don't tell anyone that you saw us yesterday. If not for me, then for Ogiso's sake. No worries. No one would believe it anyway. Oh, wait, but didn't she turn you down? About the singing thing? Yeah, about that, actually. Oh, good morning, Kitahara-kun. Just as I was about to explain, someone cut me off. That someone was Ogiso, who apparently had just arrived. Good morning, Ogiso. Your timing is perfect, actually. Let me introduce you. This is Takeya Izuka. He's more or less the leader of the light music club. You're Izuka-kun? I'm Setsuna Ogiso. I'm joining the light music club as of today, so thank you for having me, and I hope we'll get along. Was that too stiff? She's very, very overly polite. The original Japanese there is extremely polite. For just a moment, Takeya could do nothing but blink, flabbergasted. But before long, I'm Takeya Izuka, Class G. I'm in charge of the light music club, and I play guitar like Haruki. Nice to meet you, Setsuna-chan. He snapped into a grin and offered his hand, perfectly naturally. Oh, yes, nice to meet you too. Ogiso followed suit and shook his hand. Typical Takeya, casually making a move. And why did he have to call her by her first name? And that's another big thing in Japan. You've probably heard it before, but calling someone by their first name is very, very casual. It insinuates that you're closer than you are if you just call her, let's say, by Ogiso, which Haruki is still doing right now. We've got rehearsal today, so if you could come by music room number 1 after school. Actually, no, I'll come and get you, Setsuna-chan. No, you don't need to do that. Right, about rehearsal though, Ogiso? I was recalling the matter of our phone call the day before. Right. He told me I can't stay too late practicing. If I absolutely have to, he wants to hear about it from the other members. Ah, okay. Your folks sound pretty strict, Takeya muttered. I hate to ask, but if the light music club does have to practice late, would you mind coming to visit us at some point? I know that's a lot. I'm sorry. Oh, no, we'd be glad to. I'm looking forward to meeting your family, Setsuna-chan. Right, Haruki? If you're along, I don't think we'll be able to convince them of anything. Harsh. What, are you gonna go alone then? I mean, I think that's sensible for the dad to say, hey, if you're staying out late, like I want to talk to your friends. I don't think that's unreasonable of him to say. Meeting Ogiso's family alone? That could get a little intense, especially with her father, from what I could tell. But when I thought about it, having 2 guys show up could just cause even more worry. This was tricky. If only they had one more girl member to kind of balance things out, I think it would be a lot easier for everyone. As long as they understand that we're taking this band thing seriously, it'll be fine. My parents are just worriers, that's all. In that case, Takeya would definitely throw a wrench into it. What the hell does that mean? Ogiso laughed at our exchange, then said, Oh, by the way, what's up? It's not just you 2, right? There's a piano player. What are they like? Huh? Ooh, the truth comes out. 'Cause yeah, that day when Setsuna was singing along, arguably, it was really just because the piano was there to lead her. I mean, the guitar was there too, but they described the guitar as being absolutely awful. So, Yeah, that's a big one. Where's the piano player? Lunchtime. Ugh. I sighed deeply. There's no point getting depressed, Haruki. But at this rate, our singer, Ogiso, I had completely forgotten that when Ogiso heard White Album up on the roof a couple days before, it wasn't just my guitar she was hearing. The performance had happened in the first place thanks to the sophisticated piano technique of my neighbor in music room number 2. Of course, Ogiso would have assumed the pianist was connected with the Light Music Club. I'd laughed it off, not wanting to disappoint her. Sure, I'll introduce you later. But now I was stuck. Oh, this is the first lie. I'm pretty sure, technically, this is the first lie that Haruki tells in the whole series. And Haruki lies a lot. But this is just kind of that one of those little red flags that are like, man, why did you lie about that? Why didn't you just tell the truth? You could just apologize now. I mean, whatever you do, she's gonna figure it out at rehearsal. I know. What would Ogiso think when she found out that the Light Music Club at this point was just a couple of guitars? Or you could try to talk your pianist from the music department into joining, Takeya added, shrugging. Yes, if my neighbor were to join the Light Music Club, that would be the best possible outcome. But the fact that I hadn't made any overtures yet was because the relationship between the general education and music departments wasn't all that great. Even our buildings were different. The 7 general education classes were crammed into the main building, but the music department, which only had 1 class, got the newer, nicer building all to itself. Such high school drama. I feel like every high school had something like this, like the English department hates the math department or something like that. It was the same with the music rooms. General education students only got to use music room number 1, while music room number 2 next door, as well as music room number 3 in the new building, were reserved for the music department. The music department students considered all of that to be only natural and behaved accordingly, which did nothing to reduce the displeasure of the general education students. The awareness and pride of the music department frequently caused them to look down on the general education department, and they seemed to consider any bands, etc., that we might put together to be little more than playing around. For all of these reasons, I had long since given up on inviting my neighbor into the Light Music Club. I mean, sometimes you just gotta go for it, though. If you group all of those students into one thing, into one lump, there's probably nice people in that department that you'll never get to know because you lumped them together. Our relationship had been maintained because we didn't know each other's faces, because we held our conversations through music alone, and I didn't want to risk bringing that to an undesirable end by introducing words into the equation. But I guess I could give it a try. I might as well. I mean, at this point, do you have a choice? You lied to Setsuna already. Takeya's eyes widened in surprise. Wait, really? You're just gonna bow down before some snob from the music department? We just managed to get Ogiso to join. I don't want to give up now. I hated to deceive Ogiso. No, you didn't. That's why you lied. But I didn't want to disappoint her either. Big talk alone wasn't going to get me anywhere. But charging into music room number 2 and bowing my head before that certain someone in the music department, I could do that much. Knowing, of course, that success was unlikely. Yeah, I understand how you feel. We managed to pull Setsuna Ogiso in, of all people. Who knows? Takeya muttered. You still haven't answered my question, though. How'd you do it? I thought she said no, but you came back with a yes. Shoot, maybe you've actually got a chance with her? Knock that off, I mean it. It was thanks to Ogiso's hobby, the fact that she loved singing. Listen though, Setsuna-chan joining? That's miraculous. Who knows? Maybe you could make another miracle happen. Oh, shoot, I gotta go meet up with a junior girl. See you after school. As he hurried off, I sighed again. A miracle, huh? It is a miracle that you got to talk to Setsuna at this point. So I think we will stop off there for this episode. Thank you so much for being here for this reading of the White Album 2 light novel series. We are still on Volume 1, and we will continue in the next episode. So until then, I hope you take care. See you.